You're listening to the Behind the Booth podcast with DJ iSizzle, where music, weddings, and unforgettable stories come to life. And now your host, DJ iSizzle.
Microphone test. What's going on, my fan sizzles? I have, of course, some really nice glow sticks. 3 settings. There's 2, and there's 1. Ooh, look at that one. And we can just go like that, or that. Pretty nice. Just got these in. If you are looking to get some glow sticks for an event, hit me up. I have a good provider of glow sticks. I've been using glow sticks for 5 to 7 years now in different shows, weddings, glow events, and I can tell you there's a good variance between these. And yeah, you're probably only going to use them for a couple hours, but still the point, kind of nice to get some good ones. And you don't have to break the bank with these ones as well. What's nice about these is you can't get them at the dollar store, and you don't have to like assemble them or anything like that. They're just ready to go. So, and I get them in a box of 100. In fact, let me pull this out real quick here. Let's see. Yeah. And you can see right here, you can get them in about a box of 100 right here. I've only pulled out one because I have an upcoming event where I want to use these, and I included it. I included in the package. So 100 glow sticks within the package of, whether it be a wedding or a birthday party or a glow event, I provide all that into the package just to make it simple, no hidden fees. Just like, here it is, I'll include it in the package. Here's the total price. So, all right. Welcome to Behind the Booth with me, DJ iSizzle. This is a podcast where I share real stories, real experiences, share some music, unforgettable moments. I'm your host, DJ iSizzle. So today I was really thinking about it. We're in fall, and of course I've got my fall apparel, my Northwest fall weather gear going on here, my Northwest fashion. And I was really thinking about it, and I said, I think a lot of couples are getting their plans together. I know I've had some couples already hire for next year, for 2026. And I thought, well, it would probably be beneficial to share some of my experience over the last, we'll just start with 5 years. I've been doing this for over 10 years, but the last 5 years, I've really gone full time with it. It's really expanded into a business more than just a hobby. When I first started, it was more of a hobby, and I did a few weddings here and there, but now I do between 30 to 35 weddings and probably like another 15 to 20 events a year. So I stay pretty active, and I have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. And that was another reason I wanted to start this podcast. I guess we're on episode 11 now, but some episodes ago, I kept thinking, man, I got to share some knowledge. I got to, help couples, help party planners or whatever else, just share my experience with them, and just what I found and what can really simplify a process, and maybe thinking about over planning when you really don't have to, and it's a lot simpler than that. So today I'm going to kind of talk about how I would find the perfect DJ, being a DJ myself in weddings, parties, all different types of events. What would I look for if I was to hire a DJ? So maybe if you've never hired a DJ before, I know a lot of couples haven't hired a DJ. I know a lot of schools haven't, and I know if it's your 40th birthday party, your 30th birthday party, your 21st birthday party, it's probably the first time you've hired a DJ as well. So I thought this would be an interesting topic to go into. So I know there are some options out there for sure. We live out in the Northwest, Seattle. Definitely a lot of options to go with. You can go with the bigger companies, more corporate companies. You can go with somebody like myself. You can go with people probably that are on like Thumbtack. You can go with them as well. There's so many different options nowadays than there used to be. So how do you get there? But before we get into that, I wanted to do 5 just for fun couple questions. Normally it's questions for me, but I thought it'd be fun to ask these questions if you're a couple listening, and you could be like, these are some funny questions. We'll do 5 of them. So you can type out your comment, leave a comment about, the 5 questions and your answers, or you can just answer them in your head, or you can answer them out loud.
5 questions for DJ iSizzle. Tell us about you, DJ iSizzle.
All right, so question number 1. Who's more likely to cry during the vows? Um, I'm just gonna answer this from my own experience and just especially this last year. A lot of the grooms cry, and I love that. I think that's really, like, just it for me, it, like, chokes me up. I've been to so many, ceremonies, and you'd think, like, "Oh, it wouldn't affect me anymore," but I love the ceremonies, and, anytime I can provide music for ceremonies or microphones or anything like that, it's very touching. Who's got the better dance moves? I'm gonna go with the brides on this one that I've seen. I'm gonna definitely go with the brides. But please answer on your side who you think has the better dance moves. I guess this is kind of like the shoe game in a sense. Who picked your first dance song and why? Um, when it comes to like first dances and slow dances, that's up to the couple. That is absolutely up to the couple. Bride entrance song, I am not choosing that song. That is not my choice. That is the bride's choice. So that and the first dance song, I can't choose those songs. That's something that I offer within my custom packages. Um, what's the one song that would get everyone at your wedding to the dance floor? Boy, that's a good question. I think that's a couple I think that's a per couple basis because I think when you offer custom wedding entertainment, like custom playlists like I do, I think we have to kind of like look over all the different songs and the different choices because I mean, personally, I believe like the reason I name myself iSizzle is because it stands for individual. And the individuality is something that I put around like every event I DJ is I want it to be personalized. I don't want it to be you're just cookie cutter or you're just another couple that I'm DJing for. Oh no, 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 no. It goes way beyond that. Um, I want to make sure that it's very personalized. Everything is taken care of, all the small little details. So important because this is your day. It's not someone else's day. You know, this is something that you've been thinking about probably your whole life and it's something very important and special to you. And that's something that I hold very dearly. I don't take that for lightly, for granted, for anything like that. So, and finally, if your wedding had a theme song, what would it be? That's a great question. I think I'm gonna leave that one up to the couples as well. That's something I can't pick. So I think the theme kind of comes within what kind of vibe you want to bring, what kind of friends and family you have. I think that's a big part of the vibe of the wedding, as well as the venue. I think the venue definitely defines what kind of vibe as well. All right, keep those answers in mind because by the end of the episode, you'll see how many they will connect in choosing your DJ. All right, let's get on to segment number 1.
Wedding reality check. What do you recommend, DJ iSizzle?
All right, so here's the truth, and I've gotten this question over the years, and I've gotten a lot of questions about what a DJ really does. What does a DJ really do? I don't know what they do. I don't understand it. I could just press play on a button too. I have Spotify. Yeah, we all have Spotify. We all used to have CDs, burnt CDs. I don't know. We used to have whatever, easy access to music. But the truth is, a really good DJ is not just somebody who presses play. They have a catalog of music. They have for me, I make sure that I download every song. I know this sounds really old school. I make sure I download every song on the couple's playlist. I don't trust Wi-Fi. I probably never will. Um, I don't trust venue Wi-Fi because sometimes when venues don't have Wi-Fi. It depends. You could be out in the middle of a field in the middle of Eastern Washington. I don't know, somewhere out there, and the Wi-Fi isn't working or the Wi-Fi goes out. So I always download every track that I get with a couple. Um, not only that, but I organize all my playlists within Serato DJ. And when you reorganize all your playlists, you will be prepared. I mean, you're paying a lot of money for your wedding to start, a lot of money for the venue, a lot of money for, I mean, just everything in general, food, yeah, everything. So you want to hire a DJ that is going to really respect that. You don't want to just hire somebody that's just going to hopefully just press play on a few buttons and, oh, here's your playlist. Yeah, I'll try to keep to it. And then they just totally throw your playlist out and just like start playing whatever music they feel like they want to play. And then it turns into heavy metal and rap, and yeah, that's not gonna be good. I mean, unless that's what you're looking for. Um, so yeah, I guess that would be another thing I would say is like, what type of wedding are you looking for? Are you looking for a wedding that's gonna be planned out, that's gonna go really smooth? You need a DJ that's gonna have some experience, know how to handle a situation on the fly too. Like, if you need to change a song for your entrance and you say, "Hey, we're gonna actually add the wedding party to the entrance now. We didn't realize that." Well, cool. What song do you guys need? All right. I got it in my catalog. Let me throw it in there. I'll make the announcement for you. That's another thing that I do as well is I combine being a DJ as well as an MC. Now, my MC style is not, I'm not going to be telling jokes. I'm not going to be doing any put downs, any roasts. That's not what I'm about. I'm very much like very respectful, very thankful, very grateful. And when it comes to the jokes and stuff, I mean, we can leave that to the wedding party, right? We can leave that to everybody else that is either, if you are going to have speeches and toasts, leave that to them to tell the jokes. That's not something that I should be doing because I don't, every crowd is different. So that's why I do custom playlists and I make sure that the playlists are based on what you want as a couple. So, um, let's go ahead and yeah, I think that covers segment 1. I mean, just the best thing I can say is that a really good wedding DJ will have top of the line equipment. They'll have the best microphones, um, and they'll ask you all the right questions as well as I provide a wedding outline that covers everything we just talked about. Do not plays, must plays, all that kind of stuff. And we'll probably get into that in a little bit in the future segments here, but just a few things to think about. All right, let's go on to segment number 2, Dance Floor Diaries.
Dance Floor Diaries. Tell us more, DJ iSizzle.
All right, so these are some, if you have a crowd that is kind of shy and you want to have a DJ there because you want to loosen them up and you want them to have a great time. And there's some things that I've learned about like getting people on the dance floor and what works. So some things that I've noticed is that you can have everybody come out to the dance floor for a group photo and then you start a song everyone will dance to, everyone knows and loves, all generations. Or I did this recently at a wedding. I invited everybody out to the dance floor. It was in the bride's playlist of must play. She said, "I want to do the Cupid Shuffle." I said, "Cool, got you." I said, "All right, guys, we're going to need everybody to the dance floor for the Cupid Shuffle. I got the photographer here. We want to get some great shots of everybody out on the dance floor having a great time with the bride and groom. Let's go ahead and bring everybody out." After the Cupid Shuffle, and everybody was out on the dance floor. It was a magical moment. And something I learned from that too is like sometimes the photographer will take lead of what you're doing as a DJ, and they'll be like, "Hey," and the photographer came up to me. He's like, "Hey, can we make an announcement after the song's over to have everybody stay on the dance floor for a group photo?" And I said, "Yeah, I got you." Song ended. I said, "All right, guys, one quick request. We got to have everybody on the dance floor. Let's say everybody on the dance floor. We got the photographer right here. We want to do a group shot for the bride and groom. Let's bring everybody together. Everybody together. He's going to direct me. I'm going to direct you." Man, we got some of the most beautiful photos that night. The bride and groom, they thanked me at the end of the wedding. They said, "Thank you for doing that. Thank you for just caring enough to get everybody together to get one group photo." And it's hard to get everybody together for a group photo, man. It's like herding cats. It's like, "Come on, guys." And they're running the other ways. And it's really difficult. So there are ways to do that, and that's one way to get people loosened up as an icebreaker. I do know that if you do the shoe game as a couple, it gets people interacting as well. Like your guests will interact, and like as many times as I've hosted the shoe game, I always encourage guests. I say, "Hey, and if you guys know the answer to this question, if you think it's the bride or the groom, hey, speak up, like make some noise, like let people know, say, hey, that's going to be the bride, and it makes it more fun. It gets everybody kind of loosened up, a little more talking about, just talking vocally, like getting ready to party. So, those are a few things. I would also say like, it's up to you about songs that you may or may not feel are overplayed Like, you can start a conga line, you can do the YMCA, you can, bring out the glow sticks. It's really kinda up to you, or you can just leave it all the way up to the DJ. Like, one thing I like to do too is I will if there's a lot of couples, and there's a lot of couples that are, like, maybe have been together for a couple of years, maybe have been together for over 50 years. You can do a generational dance, or sometimes I'll just invite all the couples to the dance floor. Let's just go ahead and bring all the couples out here. We want to celebrate love tonight. We want to celebrate the bride and groom. Let's go ahead and do that right now. All the couples onto the dance floor. We're gonna play a classic romantic song. And I'll just grab a song from the couples playlist that they give me that's a great slow song. I'll put that one on. Hey, the guys that have been married for 30, 40, 50 years, they're going to thank you. They're going to be like, "Thank you. We don't like to fast dance. We don't do none of the fast dancing, but we do like to watch people dance, and we like to watch the crowds, but we also just want to dance with our woman, or we want to or even, it's one of those things where it's just like, thank you for thinking of me. And yes, I will gladly come out on the dance floor, slow dance with my woman, or she'll be like, I'll slow dance with my man, whatever it is." And I think it just adds another layer of comfort. And then after that, it's like, you kind of look at the floor and you say, okay, well, what's a classic that everyone would know and probably would stay out there and dance fast song now that I've got you up and you're loosened, and okay, yeah, you know what? It's not so bad out here. Okay, I got this. So, those are a couple things that I would recommend. All right, let's move on to segment number 3, your wedding energy hack. Let's go.
Your wedding energy hack. Tell us more, DJ iSizzle.
All right. So if you want your wedding to feel unforgettable, and you really want it to be something about who you are as a couple, I DJ'd this wedding a few years ago on the Everett waterfront. It was the Indigo Hotel. Great couple, great couple. And they expressed to me like, "Hey, we're gonna make these playlists, and if it's okay with you, we'd like to make a few announcements about the playlist and the songs that we're playing." And I said, "Absolutely, that sounds like a great idea." The groom had like picked like 20 different songs, and a lot of the songs were songs that when he was courting his bride to be, he would drive out to go see her. I think it was in Eastern Washington, and it was like a 2-hour drive. And he was coming from like Seattle or somewhere around there. And during that time, they had like certain songs that they would listen to before she had to go, go. I don't know if she was going to school in the fall, but they had a playlist of songs they would always listen to, and it had a special meaning. And these were songs that he would put on the drive when he was going to go see her for the weekend, spend a couple hours on this road trip. But these were songs that he said, "You got to play these songs." And I said, "Sure." So he made an announcement. He said, "Hey, these are a lot of the love songs that are part of our story." And I thought that was like the greatest, like, what a great idea. And I always encourage couples to put together a playlist that is based on your love story, songs that reflect who you are. Um, you don't have to go crazy with it, but I do think, like, whether it be your first dance, whether it be some cocktail songs, some dinner songs, maybe some party songs, as long as it really like resonate with you. I think if you can pick 3 of those songs, like, if you don't want to put together a playlist, if you're not really like versed in, like, I don't really know a lot of music, pick 3 songs, let your DJ know, and be like, "Hey, these are the 3." Let me find 3 on my hands. These are the 3 songs that, like, and I would pick like a slow song, a medium song, and a really fast, like, fun dance song. I would pick those 3 songs, and I think your DJ can build around those songs if you don't give them a full playlist of songs that you want to do or whatever. So that is something I would recommend. All right, let's go on to one of my favorite segments. This is Request Roulette, and this is segment number 4.
Request roulette. Do you take requests, DJ iSizzle?
So, every wedding has at least one guest that will come up to me, at least one guest. They'll come up to me and they'll request the most out of left, right field, somewhere I've never even heard of, and say, "Hey, play this song." And I'll be like, "Okay." First rule for me, is it okay with the bride and groom that I take requests? Now, once I establish that, then the next question that goes into mind is, if it's okay for me to take requests, the songs on the do not play list, are those okay to play if a guest makes the request for one of those songs? So this time they didn't. They wanted the Pokemon theme song. So I said, all right, let me see what I can do for you. I have different versions of different songs because sometimes you need a dance mix of a song, and sometimes you need a slow mix of a song, and sometimes you need like the regular song. And then it's really all how you bring it in. Like with theme songs like that, you gotta hit them with power right afterwards. Like I was doing a lot of like the Hannah Montana theme, and then I would go right into Party in the USA. Like I'd play a little bit of like the best of both worlds, and then you just boom right into the beginning of Party in the USA, or you bring it in on the hook where everybody knows. So with requests, I mean, the Pokemon song, it worked really well just because, like, this guest, they obviously knew their crowd. Like, they knew their friends and they knew that they would love that song. There was like an inside joke. So, that is another reason I do like taking requests. If there's an inside joke within the couple or the family or friends, like, it's something that really makes a night more special. So, yeah, let's move on to segment number 5. Oh, number 5 right there.
DJ iSizzle's Top 5.
All right, so I want to go into my top 5 in segment 5. These are songs that I get on the do not replay, like do not request. I mean, do not request. I would think it's more like do not play. Well, if they're requested, do not play. So these are the top 5 that I get a lot of do not plays, like on the music outline that I get from a couple. These are songs that like I wonder too, like I don't mind playing songs. I feel like all right, well, let's get to number 1 real quick. Number 1 is the chicken dance. Now, I have never personally put this song in a playlist and said I'm going to play it every wedding, let alone have I ever played the chicken dance. So maybe this song has just become like a hate it or love it song and there's no in between, but I've never really vibed with this song anyways. So I've never really played it. So number 2 is the Macarena. Now, I can understand this. It could be cheesy. It could be weird association with this song. What I found when I started first playing the Macarena was play the 5-minute version. I'm like, okay. After about 4 go arounds, I had Pepsi with me. She works as my assistant. She was telling me she would notice people would just like slowly just uninterested after about a minute of the song. They would just get uninterested. There's only so much you can do to a line dance song. And she said people were just kind of getting interested, and she was noticing a few people just kind of walking away. And I said, oh, I think I know what the problem is. Let me edit this song down to 1 minute, and that's it. I said, let's do 1 minute. We'll get in. We'll do the Macarena 1, 2, 3, 4 times around. All right. And then we are out of that song. Now, since I started doing that, I've gotten a great response. 1 minute is the perfect time. Anything over that, it just gets too repetitive. And it's like, how many times can you really do the Macarena? Right. So that is something to think about. Even if you don't want to play it, a lot of guests do like it. And it does get a lot of good response with younger crowds as well. So something to think about. But if it is your wedding and you don't want to hear it, please put it on the do not play list. The third one I get is Cotton Eye Joe. Now, this is a tricky one. I never play Cotton Eye Joe up front. I wait until people have had a lot of drinks and it's towards the end of the night. That being said, it is a fun song. And if you've had a few drinks into the night, it can be a lot of fun. And I feel like guests and just in general, people attending your wedding, they don't mind that song, and especially if it's later in the night and they've had a few drinks. So that's kind of my expectation. It's like that's a later in the night song for me. I'm not going to open with that song at all. But again, if it's a do not play, put it on the list. But do not play the song. We're not feeling it. Let's see. Number 4, YMCA. Yeah, I feel like a lot of couples, especially brides nowadays, man, they're just like, man, this song feels so dated. Ugh, it's overused. And I understand that completely. So when I started playing the YMCA, what I noticed is that it doesn't start with the hook first. It starts with the first verse. And the first verse, from the start of the song to the first hook, it'll take 60 seconds to get into it before we even do the YMCA. 60 seconds. On a dance floor, that is like madness. So, what I did is I cut out, I went right into it and I said, okay, let's cut the first verse down and let's get right into the YMCA. Second verse, cut it down half time. So, right away, it's like, okay, cool, gets into the young man. And then halfway through the verse, cuts out and it goes, doom, doom, doom. It's fun to stay at the YMCA. So much better. But then what I also found is there is a remix of it that still uses the original, but has more of like an updated, like kind of like a doom, 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 like more of a dancey sound. And what I did is I took that and I cut down the verses again, and it goes right into it, and it goes into like this cool, more like electronic, dancey sounding YMCA. So it's more fun, it's more bass, it doesn't sound as dated. So that's another thing you can kind of mention to your DJ too. Like, hey, can you play a remix of YMCA? You don't have to play the original, like, you know. So again, though, do not play, put it on the do not play. All right. So, number 5. Yeah. So any song that reminds a couple of an ex, this is why I have a do not playlist, because man, I don't want to be playing any songs that remind somebody of their ex or somebody that reminds them of a bad time in their life. Please really think hard as a couple and put those on the do not plays. It'll save any awkward moments. It'll save any like, wow, why am I thinking about this right now when I should be thinking about love and this future that I'm about to have, and like all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's segment number 5, my top 5 do not plays. All right, let's go to segment number 6.
Track of the episode. Play us a banger, DJ iSizzle.
All right, so my track of the episode, it is a classic. It's actually, I've had it out for a few years now. It's off my wedding album. It's called The One I Want. I have 3 different versions of it. I have a slow version, I have a medium version, and I have a cool little dance version of it. So this is one that I worked with a few different artists with. We've done a few different remixes. We've tried a few different things. And overall, it's just a romantic song. It's about missing somebody that you care about deeply one night. You're hoping to see them, but they said they're busy that night. And then you're just like, hey, I would really like to see you tonight. Is there a way we can do, like, can we get together? Can we hang out? So the song is just about, missing somebody that you really love, and um, just someone singing about that and trying to like translate those feelings into a cool little song. So yeah, it's called The One I Want. You can check it out. It's on the wedding album. There's 2 different versions on there. And then I have another remix somewhere. I haven't released it yet, but it's okay. I don't know. Maybe you'd like it. I don't know. All right, let's move on to segment number 7.
Spotlight shout out. Who is the best in the Northwest, DJ iSizzle?
All right, this is our spotlight shout out. This is where I give a shout out to some of the greatest vendors, venues, anybody working in the wedding industry, really. And I know this is such a cop out, but I just want to say, like, all the photographers that I've worked with out here have been absolutely amazing. I can't imagine being a couple trying to choose a photographer for your wedding. Like, to me, that would be so much work. Like, I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't even know where to start. Well, I guess I would a little bit. Like, if I really think about it now, I would say if I was a couple, and I've seen all these photographers, I would say get a lot of those photos up front. That would be something that I would really recommend when everybody's like fresh looking. Had just gotten dressed. Everything looks really good. We haven't gotten into the later part of the evening where we've kind of, taken things off to put them back on. We've kind of, moved around a little much. So I would say get a lot of those photos in the evening, before the evening really kicks in. Get a lot of those photos up front during like arrival of all your like wedding party. Have them come a little early. Get all those photos before everybody gets drinking and partying. Make sure your faces look fresh and everything like that. Also, what else would I say? I've done photography one time for a wedding, and I had an assistant with me, and I think without that assistant, I don't think I would have been able to handle the wedding very well. So I would say if your photographer has an assistant, like I have an assistant for my DJing, I would recommend that the photographer has an assistant. Some of the best photographers I've seen have assistant with them, and I think that really helps with the overall quality. And your photographer is going to be there all day running around and all that kind of stuff. So probably will keep them in a good mood as well. So I would say make sure your photographer has an assistant. Um, and then what would be the last thing I would say? Um, just if they're cool with doing like different types of photos, fun photos, something that would be a little bit different than like just your standard, like, oh, we're just another cookie board couple, and we're just cookie cutter and we don't care. Like I would say like, hey, do you guys do anything special? Do you guys have any like special things we can do? You know, special kind of photos that we can, maybe put up as a poster, on our wall or something. When people walk in, they're like, wow, what a cool photo, you guys. Like, that's really cool. Like, how did you guys think of that? And you'll be like, well, actually, our photographer thought of it. So, that would be one thing. And then also, like, when I'm talking to couples, I know within about 10 seconds if we're going to work great together or if we're not going to work great together. So, that's something that I would say too is within the first 10 seconds, you'll pretty much know if your photographer is going to be the right one for you or not. So, I would say trust your instincts, trust your gut on that one. Um, all right, yeah. Let's go on and go final thoughts. Outro. Let's go.
Final thoughts. I'm going to miss you, DJ iSizzle.
All right. So I just want to say thank you so much for watching, for listening to Behind the Booth with me, DJ iSizzle. This was episode 11. It's how to hire the perfect wedding DJ, why it matters. And then, of course, I'm going to say there's a few tips in between there too, as far as like different vendors and all that kind of stuff. If you are a couple planning your big day, feel free to message me. Feel free to email me. You can go to my website, djissizzle.com. Click on the book now, and then there's like 4 or 5 questions on there. Just go ahead and like fill those out. Email me, message me. Just let me know if you have any questions about DJs, or even if you're looking to hire a DJ. More than welcome to inquire with me as well. If you'd like to do a call, we can do that. We can do like a quick 20-minute call, just kind of figure out things, go through all that good steps and everything. Yeah. Don't forget to subscribe, share this with your fiance or a friend, bridesmaid, your maid of honor, best man, somebody who is looking to help you plan your wedding. Yeah, djissizzle.com. Let me know. Until next time, keep the love strong, the vibes fun, and the dance floor alive. And remember, stay sizzling. We'll talk to you next time. Bye.
Thanks for tuning in to the Behind the Booth podcast hosted by DJ iSizzle. Remember to keep the music loud, the energy high, and your memories unforgettable. See you next time.